Back when I was a strapping young lad, maybe I was 58, I forget. I went to Orlando, Florida and visited Epcot Center. Some of you may call Epcot boring, but I really loved it. It was so unique, presenting our past, present, and an optimistic future for humanity. Yeah, you know, because humanity is evolving. In today's video, I'll present Walt Disney's original vision for Epcot and present the park in its opening year at Walt Disney World. I'm Professor History, and this is History in 8 Minutes or Less.
This is Epcot Center.
All the way back in the early 1960s, Walt Disney conceived of a community where people could live, work, and play with ease, highlighting the latest technological advancements and always looking to progress. He considered it the cornerstone of what he called the Florida Project. Epcot, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. A decade after his passing, the company decided to alter his vision a bit and make it a theme park. One half would present where we came from, where we're going, and the other half was World Showcase. It would be a World's Fair of sorts, bringing nations together in one big exposition, sharing culture, history, language, and of course food and wine. This was something totally new in the theme park world. Hell, there weren't even traditional Disney characters walking around. But in the late 80s, they found their way in. Fun fact, those hidden Mickeys you're always hunting for, they can be traced back to Epcot. Since there were no Disney characters running around, Imagineers found ways to hide hidden Mickey shapes throughout the park. After all the years of planning and construction, on October 1st, 1982, Epcot opens to the public. The first attraction we're delving into is actually my favorite, Spaceship Earth, which became the symbol of Epcot Center. Yeah, that's the big golf ball. This dark ride attraction shows how human communication has evolved to shape our history, from prehistoric man to the use of hieroglyphics to the possible future in front of us. The Universe of Energy starts with a short movie about the various sources of energy. Then guests get into theater seating cars, and it takes us through the prehistoric times with animatronic dinosaurs. You know, back in the 80s, this was very high tech, and it was so cool to see as a kid. It was educational and fun. I remember having this book. The World of Motion took us in omnimover cars through the history of human transportation. Famous Disney animator Ward Kimball was heavily involved in this attraction's creation, putting his own sense of humor in there, depicting many gags such as chariot salesmen and the world's first traffic jam. Journey into Imagination gave us Epcot's first mascots, Figment and Dreamfinder. Guests travel into the world of imagination, and we discover that anything is possible, finally dropping guests off in an area where kids and adults can play with some of the latest advancements in technology. The Land Pavilion was dedicated to nature and human interaction with the Earth. The main attraction, Listen to the Land, takes guests on boats through greenhouses, presenting the latest agricultural techniques. Food that was grown here was even used in many of Epcot's restaurants. Years later, it was changed to Living with the Land, but it was still the same basic ride. The Communicore, which later became Innoventions, which later became nothing. It housed all the ideas presented in Future World while introducing guests to the world of computers. See, back then, kids, the idea of home computers was pretty new. Me? I had this cool Commodore 64, but that's for another video. Opening at the very end of Epcot's first year on October 1st, 1983, was Horizons, sort of a carousel of progress on steroids. It blended together the aspects of all the other Future World attractions: communication, energy, transportation, creativity, and technology to show us a better life awaits us in the future. The other half of Epcot is World Showcase, bringing together various nations, sharing their culture, language, and of course the wonderful food and drinks. No drinking around the world for you kids until you're 21, alright? The nations displayed here are Mexico, Norway, China, Germany, Italy, Japan, Morocco, France, the United Kingdom, and Canada. In the center was the American Adventure, which housed an animatronic show of the same name with Ben Franklin and Mark Twain as hosts. The first evening fireworks show started in Epcot's second year, called Le Carnival de Lumiere, which combined fountains, film, music, and fireworks. In the years that followed, Epcot stayed true to its origins and kept evolving, bringing us new technologies, attractions, and festivals, always providing the theme that there's a bright, peaceful future ahead of us. That is, if we want it enough. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you'd like to hear about next. If you liked our video, please hit subscribe. Catch you on the flip side.